Do you remember those short cartoons back in the day? Some played before your movie, or some played during commercials on Disney. Even Warner Brothers had them with the Looney Tunes. They were timeless, and they carried over into my generation for a while there. Whatever happened to them? Where did they go? And why are they pushed away for such bland cartoons nowadays, even though Mickey Mouse still very much exists as an icon? If you are like me, and you miss those classic cartoons and enjoy video games, then I have the game for you. Epic Mickey. Epic Mickey is a game that takes all of Walt's forgotten and practically unused characters and puts them in a world that Oswald the Lucky Rabbit rules over. That in itself takes things way back. Do you remember Oswald? I hardly knew the guy or the fact that he was Walt's original Mickey Mouse. The game opens with the now familiar mascot Mickey Mouse, who stumbles upon this world of forgotten characters. The world is a small miniature one, very similar to that of a Disney theme park, and it's been created by a familiar Disney sorcerer. Mickey sees the paintbrush and attempts to paint, which creates what becomes known as the shadow blot. Mickey quickly tries to destroy it with thinner, but ends up spilling the thinner and paint all over this small world. The shadow blot then pulls Mickey into the world and attempts to help the Mad Doctor and Oswald steal Mickey's heart, because the only way out of this so-called wasteland, or little world, is with a heart, and only Mickey has a heart, unlike the forgotten Disney characters. So basically, the overall goal of Epic Mickey is to, of course, keep your heart and rid the wasteland of the shadow blot, and the destruction he is causing, and of course earning Oswald's trust so you can return home. The gameplay is very similar to that of a classic platformer, and overall it works very well. But what does Epic Mickey do that stands out? Mickey is equipped with a paintbrush that can splash paint or thinner onto the environment or the enemies. This becomes an excellent concept that really carries through to the end and actually affects a lot of the world and the game itself. By aiming with the remote, you can either spray the paint or the thinner. The thinner will destroy or take away parts of the environment, while paint will recreate what has been destroyed or help you reach platforms that are out of reach. The paint and thinner can also be used on enemies. The thinner does what it should and destroys the enemy, but if you use paint, the enemies become allies, and they can help you out during the game. Throughout the game, you are also guided by creatures called gremlins. If you rescue them, they can help you throughout levels in solving puzzles or even beating a boss for you. But this again is your choice. The controls work well and aren't full of gimmicks. There is one attack which is your spin attack, but all you do is shake your controller to do it. And it doesn't feel pushed on you, and it works great. When traveling in between worlds in Wasteland, the game also takes you on 2D side-scrolling adventures that are based off classic Mickey Mouse cartoons. There are plenty, and you really look forward to these moments. I want to put to rest an issue this game has suffered from in previous reviews, and that is the camera issues. People have complained that it is impossible to work the camera, and I honestly never had an issue with this. You can control the camera in a 360 mode by using the D-pad as you move around, and you can also put Mickey into a first-person view if the area becomes too tight and you are having issues locating your objective. I feel this critique is unfair because you can tell they put much thought into how you control the cameras and even made available a first-person perspective. The game is absolutely stunning. Wii has really been pushing out a lot of titles that really show you what the Wii is capable of. I highly enjoyed visiting parts of the world and really just checking them out. A prime example is Oztown, which is clearly a reference to Toontown, and you can walk around and repaint the scenery or even take away from it. And this is where the paint and thinner really shines through, and honestly, it just works very well. And you appreciate the concept behind this mechanic. The game has an excellent story that really captures you and makes you care for the progression of the story. Cutscenes are done in a cartoon style that pays tributes to the classic cartoons. There is no voice acting besides the grunts and muttered expressions, but it works well with what they aimed for. Though with such a deep story, I wish there was voice due to the fact that there is a lot of reading and you miss out on what's going on visually because you're busy reading text. But again, this shouldn't keep you away from such a great game. I really enjoyed the heck out of this game. There are some tasks in the game that probably could become monotonous if you just want to advance through the game. But if you are a fan of Disney and lost classics, you will enjoy these tasks for the forgotten Disney cast. I surely did. If you are a fan of anything Disney, I say pick up the title. You can get nearly 10 hours out of this game, and there is a lot of bonus material such as a few throwback cartoons and a lot of artwork. Even if you are not a fan of Disney, I feel you may enjoy the game. It is a bit darker than most Disney products, and it almost feels like a Tim Burton world at times, and it works very well. If you're a fan and this looks good, buy the game. I promise you won't be disappointed. Or just definitely give it a rent, guys. Epic Mickey is unquestionably worth your time.
Make sure to hit the subscribe button above this video on YouTube and stay up to date with Trevor Clark's latest videos.